Now, what's involved with SCIP when it comes to the software is that we have an add-on module that allows you to do SCIP submissions, analysis, track your products for changes, things of that nature. It looks like this. And now, as we saw before, the first step would be to provide a parts list to GreenSoft, and that's exactly what I've done here. So what I've done is I've sent a parts list for data collection to GreenSoft. It looks like this. It's not a BOM. It's simply a list of internal part numbers, manufacturer name, manufacturer part number, and item descriptions of all the parts I use to make all my products. So now GreenSoft's going to take this and go collect this data, which they have done. Once they've done that, they'll deliver it right to my software. And here it is in my item master. And you can see these parts here. I have capacitors and diodes and things like this nature. And then, for example, I can actually look at any one of these products. For example, I can look at this particular diode here. And I can see the full material declaration here. I can see all the compliance certificates that were collected against this. I can also look at the article status and see what was done with the article analysis of this. And so I can really dig into these parts. I'm not going to go into that in detail, though, because we're talking about SCIP today. So my next step, now that I've delivered the parts to GreenSoft, they've delivered the part data to me with all the compliance and substance information on all the parts, is I'm going to go ahead and import my BOMs. Now remember, this is happening behind my firewall. Nobody can see these BOMs but me. GreenSoft has no visibility into any bill of materials that I load in here. So I'm going to go ahead and load my bill of materials in. I have 7 here I'm going to load in. Just going to go ahead and select those really quickly here. And I'm going to load those in. As you can see, I've quickly loaded 7 products in here. Now, if I look at my BOM list, I have all 7 products in here. And for any one of those products, I could do detailed compliance analysis of these. I could look at it from a REACH perspective, a RoHS perspective, Annex 17, Annex 14. I could look at CMR substances per MDR rules, PFAS. We have halogen-free, low halogen, POPs, ODS, California Rose, China Rose, California Prop 65, et cetera, et cetera. It goes on. And you can also create your own custom requirements for customers and things like that. Again, not going to go into that in detail, but that's the kind of level of information that I'm able to derive on my products because I have the software. But what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to pull up the SCIP module so we can look at this from the context of SCIP. So here's my 7 BOMs that I've located in here. I'm going to launch the SCIP module, and it's going to bring that up. Now notice that out of my 7 bill of materials, it's only listed 2. That's because the GreenSoft software has already identified that only 2 of my 7 products require SCIP submissions. The other 5 do not contain any articles over threshold, right? These are the only 2 products in my list that contain articles over threshold, so the only ones the SCIP module is going to deal with. Now, if we look at the information available, we can see that the wireless router, for example, it says not ready. That's because I've loaded the BOM, but I haven't told it what product category code is, right? At a minimum, I have to tell it which category code this is in order to submit to the database. So it's telling me the product's not ready to submit yet until I put that in there, right? But what is here is all the information on all the parts, right? Because GreenSoft has done that collection for me. So for example, this on semiconductor part right here, this Zener transient voltage suppressor, that has been identified as containing an SVHC over threshold. And GreenSoft, as you can see here, has already categorized this according to the Tariq code, okay? Surge suppressors, voltage limiters, et cetera. They've collected information from the supplier on whether it's produced or imported in the EU, checked for safe use information, and assigned a name for this in the SCIP structure. And then it's identified, the software has identified, using our article analysis that our team has done, the article that contains the SVHC over threshold, which is the die lead frame assembly. Because this SVHC is actually present in die-attached solder, as soon as that solder was used to incorporate 2 structures together, that created a new article, the die lead frame assembly, and that's what we're identified. So now we can see that the die lead frame assembly is here, and it's identified lead. And when we look at that, we can see that it's identified in the solder, right? So the mixture category has been associated accordingly, and it's calculated the concentration based at the article level, not at the material level and not at the component level. So all this has been done correctly, and it's been done correctly for every single component within the product that contains SVHCs over threshold. There's 4 of them. So as soon as I enter in my information on my product, it would be ready to submit. So I can actually pick a category code from a pick list using keywords, like for example, telecommunications products. I can go ahead and I could pick the product category code that I believe is associated here. Or If I don't want to have to do this on a product by product basis, because it's easy if I have 2 to do that manually, but what if I had 150? I don't want to do 150 manual selections. I can go ahead and import that information in bulk. So what I can do is I can pull up the import template, and I can list all my products here in column A. And then I can list what those names are for SCIP, what the product categories are, whether I'm producing those in the EU, if I have any safe use instructions, and any product groupings that I want to do here, okay? So I can actually support the product groupings for quasi-identical and representative sample article product representations this way. And then the idea of producing an EU and product categories will be easy for me to fill out because most of my products are going to be in the same category. And most of my products are going to be built in the same place. So I can simply cut and paste in here, save this. And now I can actually update all my products and get them ready for submission at once simply by importing that template. So I'll go ahead and I'll import that template. And now it tells me they're ready for submission. Once they're ready for submission, it's as simple as selecting the products I want to submit and clicking Submit SCIP Dossiers. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to connect with the European Chemicals Agency SCIP database. It's going to log into the portal, and it's going to submit these dossiers for me right into my account. I can see that they were submitted successfully. And if I want to see the results of any submission, I can simply click the report link. It's going to take me directly to the SCIP submission report in the SCIP portal database. So as you can see up here at the top, this is the actual SCIP ECHA portal. And what I've done is I've seen that this has succeeded. I have a report here. I have a submission number. This is the submission number that I can use to prove that this was successful. And here's the SCIP number that's used to provide simplified submissions and referencing to my customers, simplified submissions for my importers and distributors. Additionally, we can see the article information has been recorded here. And as I said before, the diode part number is not used. The transient voltage suppressor part number is not used. We're masking that and using these reference numbers for unique IDs instead, keeping your supply chain information private.
Learn more by viewing the full-length video online at greensoft.com/videos. Plus, learn about our environmental regulation solutions online at greensofttech.com.